We are out here with at the Omak Stampede for Inland Northwest Native News, and we are with Scott Abrahamson. Scott, can you tell me a little bit about what the field's like this year?
It's a tough field. There's about 5 of us that were competing for the overall Thursday night, but Onyx got the best of us this year.
That's what I see. I haven't had a chance to see them, but watching the stuff online as they're posted, boy, the numbers are looking real good for them. That's great. What's been the most challenging thing for you this year?
The start.
The start, huh?
Yeah.
What was the tough part about that for you?
The start kind of means everything in this race because you only got about 50 feet for the top, and if you don't have a good start, then you'll be back there, and it's hard to catch back up after that. And my horse don't like to stand at all. He likes to rear up, do anything he can to try to jump out there. And
what's the name of your horse?
Eagle Boy.
All right. And tell me, how long have you been riding this?
In the hill?
Yeah.
I've been riding since 2014. I was 16 when I started.
So this is your 5th year?
Yeah.
All right. And what's the best you've done?
I've won it.
Yeah. Have you?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You won it. So you're 21 now, and you've already got one under your belt, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I was talking to you earlier. I shot the video last year, and it's been viewed like 48,000 times from the last race of last year, and there were more haters than there were people that liked it. So it's been really kind of controversial thing. But for me, growing up, this has always kind of been part of the culture. Coming to the Omak Stampede, that's one of the biggest things, especially for India people. It's huge. Can you talk a little bit about what that's like, knowing that there's people out there that aren't real fond of the race? What's that like?
We just don't let it get to us. There's those PETA people that they'll sit outside the gate and say stuff like that, but a lot of people that don't like the race just don't really know what we do. We treat these horses better than we do our own family, and we take care of them all year round. We prepare for this race all year, and yeah, it's what those horses want to do. I mean, we wouldn't put a horse up there that don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Because horses are going to do what they want to do. You can't really, they're huge. As much as you want to try to control them, you're right. You're not going to get a horse that's not going to want to.
Owners and jockeys, they do everything they can to keep it safe. We go through vet checks, we go through qualifications. We have to pass all these tests just to even be up there Thursday night.
And how long have you been riding?
I've been riding since I was just a little guy. Whenever I could start walking, I was riding.
And what tribe are you?
Colville.
So it's really a part of the culture. It's a big part of the culture. I know for since forever. It's huge. Do you run relay too?
Yeah, I'm an Indian relay racer.
Yeah, you're going to be down in Walla Walla?
Yeah, I'll be there.
That's cool. What do you like most about racing?
Just the feeling that you get. It's like unexplainable until you do it. It's just a different kind of adrenaline that you can never get somewhere else.
We're talking to people that were thinking about coming out to Omak to watch and be part of the festivities, that kind of thing. What would you like those people to know?
Just that it's a race that you'll never see anywhere else. It's really unexplainable until you come and watch it. You can watch it on YouTube and whatever, but that doesn't do any justice. You got to come and see it for yourself in real life. And yeah, even the crowd, they get excited when the gun goes off, not just the riders and horses.
Yeah. Had you ever been injured coming down the hill?
No, I've been in wrecks and everything, and I've been lucky enough not to walk out with no broken bones or anything, and I've been able to race the next night. There was last year during another hill race, I broke my collarbone and had to get surgery on it and everything, but I was healed up and able to race next year.
Yeah, well, it's like so many other sports. You run that risk. Football is a high contact sport. When they run the races, like the Kentucky Derby, any of those guys, if they fall off their horses, man, it's going to hurt. So there's that risk on all of them. So it's not something that's really unique to this race. It is dangerous.
Yeah.
They call it the suicide race for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just if you look at the tracks down in Santa Anita, all those horses are breaking down and everything. And lucky enough, this year we haven't had any horses break down. And it's just how you take care of them, And a lot of these guys around here, they know how to take care of horses. Yeah, it's just something you got to come and see for yourself. Everyone thinks we just throw horses up there. We never train them or anything, and no, we put a lot of time into these horses. And
And Josiah, first of all, I really like your shirt.
Thank you.
Looking pretty good. Look pretty nice coming off the hill there. What can you tell us a little bit about how this year's gone for you?
It's gone really good. Thursday night I got 6th, and then last 2 nights I placed 2nd, and feeling really good about today too.
Yeah, how's your horse doing?
Good, he's ready.
Yeah, he's ready, huh?
Yeah, amped up.
All right. So how long have you been riding?
This is my 3rd year.
And are you from here in Omak?
I'm from Nespelem.
You're from Nispena? And who are your folks? What's your bloodline?
Weedy Digital is my mom, and my dad's from Tennessee.
So what's the hardest part about all this for you?
Just getting over your nerves, really. You know, when you get in there, your horse he's ready, and you just gotta be ready and trust him. That's probably the hardest part.
Wow. So yeah, I think that's really well put. You have to trust your horse. You know, we have so many people that look at this sport, and it's really kind of controversial. You know, it's been that way for a while. But for you to say, you know, you have to trust your horse, that means your horse is in. You know, he's not something that you're forcing to do this.
No.
He's all in with you, and you become kind of one with him.
Yeah, we are one, and it's like a brotherhood. Everybody and their horses, you know. Most people won't get on a horse if they don't trust it, and the horse doesn't trust them.
You had any close calls, or maybe what's the scaredest you've been when you're out there?
Thursday night I kind of came down. I was out of my saddle and I got blew out, lost my stirrup and was hanging off the side and about fell off in the water. But I got back on and just in the nick of time too.
What's it mean to you to be part of something like this and part of the whole horse culture?
It means a lot to me because this is who we are and this is our people's tradition, you know, and it's what we love to do. This is every year, so we get ready for it, and it's gone just like that, but it's all worth it.
Oliver, you're just taking names this year, man. Come off the hill, last couple nights, you're just smoking. You're leading the board right now with the points. How's this year been for you?
It's pretty awesome. Me and my horse Onyx, we've been working at this for quite a few years now, and it feels good to finally seal the deal. And we still got one more race to go here in a couple hours, though.
Yeah. So how long have you been riding?
I've been riding. This is my 12th year since I was 16 years old. Been here doing this. I went through a few different horses and finally found the one.
Yeah. So you're 28 this year?
Yep, 28 this year.
All right. What does it feel like to go into this last race here on top?
It feels pretty amazing. We're pretty confident. Onyx is feeling good and we're ready to go.
Yeah. So where are you from and who are your folks? What's your bloodline?
I'm from Nespelem, Washington. My dad's John Pakootas. My mom's Eileen Clausen. And then I'm married into the Carden family. My wife's Shawnee Pakootas Carden, and her dad's Kerry Carden. He's a past champion. So we're keeping the bloodline going strong.
What's been the toughest part for training for you this year?
This year's actually been really smooth for us, and just in the past few years we've dealt with some adversity. We've crashed, Onyx and I, a few times, and he come back from it. And this year's just been smooth sailing. So.
Yeah, cool. Well, if you're talking to somebody who is thinking about coming out to watch the race or come out to Omak, who's never been out here before, what's something that you'd like them to know?
I don't know. It's just kind of something you got to come see in person. Videos, you can watch videos and stuff, but you come here in person and feel the animosity in the air and feel everybody's energy, and it's just crazy. It's
So were you out here? You run last year?
Yep.
Okay, so last year I came out and shot on Sunday, and I got a 1-minute clip of the last race and the two guys coming across were, one had his arm got caught in the other guy's rein, and they were leading. I don't know if you saw that video or not. It's been viewed about 48,000 times on YouTube. So did you know anything about that?
No, I actually crashed that day. On Sunday last year, so we was in the river.
Oh wow! So you came all the way down and you made it to the river because there was somebody that came down further up the hill. I saw too.
Yeah, we made it to the river and then we clipped another horse at the bottom and tipped over.
right, so Edward, last year I was able to come out and shoot the last race on Sunday, and man, that was quite the race. Very eventful. But you said you won last year.
I won the past 3 years.
Can you talk a little bit about that race? What was going on out there?
Just, get a good start, get to the front, stay in the front. Stay in the front. It's good to be in the front when you got a good horse like that. They'll keep you safe. As long as you're taking care of them, they take care of you.
So it looked like you guys got a little mixed up with the reins. Can you talk a little bit about what was happening out in the water?
Well, we did. We just had a bunch of horses jumping out in front of us that I couldn't get around. And then when it was too late to get around, we just couldn't make it. And then, you want to head good. You want to hit that water good, get a good spot. But other than that, if you don't, then you got to work that horse to try to make him get there.
So what's it looking like for you this year? Are you stoked or what?
I'm stoked. This was supposed to be the horse to win it, but we haven't won a race yet. And he's a young horse. I ain't giving up on him yet. And he's got plenty of years to go. So if we don't win today, there's always next year.
Are you a relay racer at all?
I own the relay horses. I'm a horse trainer. I train horses, big time horses. I go to the big tracks and I go to Emerald Downs and everywhere, and I try to go win those races. And then I come here just wanting to do these races nowadays because of my brothers, Lauren and Francis too. They love this just as much as I do, and I didn't think I would get into this, but I've always wanted to ride a horse on their back, be on their back, and I've been wanting to ride this. I've been racing for too long.
We are out here with Pete Palmer, and you're the president of the Jockeys and Owners Association, is that right?
The Owners and Jockeys Association, yes.
All right, so this is such an exciting event. We have people come from all over just to come and check this out, and there's a lot of coordinating that goes on to keep everybody, moving along, make sure it's. Can you talk a little bit about how long you've been doing what you're doing and what all is entailed with what you do?
So my first tour as the president of the Owners and Jockeys Association, I did 12 years as the president. And then I took a short break for about 5 years, I want to say. And then myself and my team got voted back in last fall after last year's race for a 3-year term.
So can you talk a little bit about what some of maybe the safety concerns are that you guys have to address?
So depending on the water levels, in high water years, of course, there's a lot more to address. But this year we had a big challenge with the algae that's in the water. And so it's been plugging up our rescue boat. There's places in the river where our boat can't go because the water's so shallow. And so different horses run different in different conditions also. So like on these low water years, we had a real mix up here, and we've got a whole new King of the Hill this year. So we added sand to the bottom of the course this year from the water dropping and the erosion on the banks, so there's not so much of a drop off, and to kind of cover up a lot of the sharp rocks at the bottom of the hill. We put reflective tape on their bib numbers, so at nighttime, if something happens in the river, the boat and the rescue crew can see the jockeys with the reflective tape. when they're floating in the water or when they're in the water.
You know, if you look at this stuff, if you watch just this short clip of a video of what goes on out here, it looks really scary, it looks really dangerous, but clearly there's a lot of safety precautions that you guys take to make sure that the horses and the riders are all safe. That must have been quite a process, just trying to, you know, a learning process going through the years. What's that been like?
It has been quite a learning process, you know, starting with the vet checks. And we had Dan DeWart used to be our vet out of Twisp, and he was real instrumental in helping us kind of put a lot of these safety checks in place. So starting with the vet checks, the other thing is we have the riders or the owners put sturdy halters on their horses, which you usually don't ride your horse with a halter, but in this case we want them to have halters in case something happens, they need to be rescued or, you know, transported across the river, they have something to grab a hold of those horses with. We have them wrap their legs so when they're coming down the hill they're not getting cut and burned with the sand and the stuff coming off of the hill. And then, you know, we do different things with the jockeys as far as, you know, we require them to be clean and sober. We do the reflective tape that I talked about. One year we had one of our jockeys actually hit the bottom of the hill and was knocked out. And one of the rescue guys on the boat thought they were pulling up a bridle out, floating by him in the river, and grabbed a hold of him, and it was Tyler Peasley. And
So, you know, it must be really an honor to be in your position too.
it is, you know, I grew up riding horses myself. I raced against a lot of the guys, you know, that are horse owners now and running. And so I've earned a lot of respect over the years, you know, just running right beside of them. And so it really, you know, I always say I'm here for the horses, but, you know, I kind of like watching the jockeys too, so.
What would you say is the best part of your job?
I think when I see all 18 horses come in last night with the riders aboard, everybody come in clean and safe, that was the best feeling you could ever have in your heart.
I was really happy to see when I came in that they were painting the faces. And I see your hat. You know, you guys have obviously made an effort to raise awareness to the MMIW issue.
Yeah.
What's that been like for you?
So, a girl, you know, it kind of hits home for me. Right now, we've been searching for a little over a month for a girl that I grew up with, and she just disappeared one day, and she's one of the locals that, you know, just kind of hang out on the streets, but, you know, still, I'm the type of person that I don't look down on them. You know, we grew up together. She's still my friend, you know, and I help them out whenever I can, and so, you know, it just hurts my heart to have to not know where she's at and, you know, see all of her friends and not see her. So, you know, I think it was real important for us this year to step forward and make that effort and, you know, try to stop the silence of, you know, our people disappearing and what's happening to our women. You know, we see a lot of these young girls walking around here with hardly any clothes on, and, you know, with the things that are going on, I can't, you know, I find myself talking to young moms about, you know, talk to your kids, you know, the things that we did when we were little, you can't do that anymore because this world is changing so much and there's so much ugliness out there that, you know, we got to really watch our kids, watch our young women, and, you know, recognize this and get other people to recognize it too. And, you know, last night, on top of the missing Indigenous women's movement, we also last night and throughout the weekend have been talking and doing a lot of campaigning for suicide prevention. You know, that hits home for a lot of us.
I know that this movement, getting back to the MMIW, there have been several people in different various at different events and venues and things of that nature that have received kind of blowback, you know, resistance towards that kind of thing. They're like, well, you know, leave the politics out of it. Did you guys experience any of that kind of stuff here?
No, we haven't. In fact, it's been very well received by everybody, and I think, you know, like I said, it hits home for a lot of people here. And, you know, we're all about raising that awareness and, you know, not only for the women, but in Indian country, because a lot of times we get left out.
The Omak Stampede has changed quite a bit over the years. How have you seen it change? You know, from the way it used to be to the way it is now. You know, we look at I know it used to be kind of rowdy out here.
Yeah.
I know it still kind of is a little rowdy out here at times, but what are some of the good changes and maybe some of the bad changes that you've seen?
So, like, you know, you see a lot of the police officers around, and Stampede hires their own security to help with the policing. That's been a good thing, and it's kind of slowed a lot of the underage drinking down and a lot of the gang fights and things like that. One of the things like we try to do in our area is police ourselves. And, you know, a lot of what we're doing in the name of tradition and, you know, respect for ourselves is we try to be clean and sober here. And by policing ourselves, it kind of takes it out of the arena of the law enforcement, and it gives a lot of respect to our own people, you know, to come and be able to, you know that you're here and what's in your heart is what brought you here, I think is huge. And so it's been really well accepted. If you look up at the hill, I don't know if anybody's told you this, but the actual race course used to be downriver a little ways. And so there's been a lot of improvements done on the race course, you know, and you notice we got security here on the gate so people don't just come in and out freely. And that has a lot to do with, you know, these guys are at their horse trailers, they're trying to take care of themselves, they're, you know, and get their head in the game, but they're also doing a lot of medicine and, you know, praying and things, and we want them to be able to concentrate and, you know, have their minds where it needs to be and not worrying about everything going on around them. And so that's been real important to me, as my job is to make sure that these guys don't have to worry about anything but racing.
If there was anything that you could change about this event or the race or any of it, what would that be?
I think to educate people more about the race and what it's really about, and that we're not here just hurting horses and forcing them off of a steep, you know, mountain. You know, we love these horses like they're part of our family, and a lot of these people, all of them take care of the horses that way. You know, it was after midnight last night when we left here and we still had horses being walked out. And they take them home and they go over them with a fine-tooth comb. You know, they rub them down with liniment for their sore muscles, and, you know, they go stand them up in Omak Lake for the alkali to, you know, clean any cuts or scrapes that they might have. And so these guys really care for these horses. Probably, I can say they go the extra 20 miles with them, you know, as far as care goes. But you know, the fact that we're not here hurting horses, we're not making them do anything that they don't want to do. You know, you watch these horses walking around, and as things start progressing towards the race, their attitudes and their, you know, how they are just become upbeat. You look at them now and everybody's kind of got their heads dropped just walking. In about a half hour when we start saddling up and getting ready, these horses are going to be high-headed and jacked up, you know, like ready to go. And, you know, I think that's really neat. But, you know, I just want people to be more educated about what we're doing here.
What's your name?
Audrey Seymour
And where are you from, Audrey?
from INWNN, Washington.
All right. So you're out there 4 days in a row, Omak.
Yes.
Yeah. What's that like?
I love it. I grew up on a ranch, so I do a lot of riding.
Yeah, only girl out there?
Yeah.
Only woman, I should say. Yeah. That must have been Was it intimidating, or what'd you feel?
I felt good. I prepared a lot this year. I ride a lot, and I just really felt like it's something that I have to do and need to do to represent us, and not only women but Native women, and my family, of course, the Seymour family.
How did it make you feel? How all those riders with the red hands on their faces.
Oh, I felt that was such a special thing that they did for a lot of the women that are missing, to give them a voice.
How did you feel when you first found out that you were going to be making it to go all 4 days?
Oh, I was really happy. I was really bummed that I got just short of missing the cutoff on the elimination. But I knew my horse was strong and he could make it all 4 days. And I was just hoping and praying I could get back in.
How long you been riding?
I've been riding since I was a toddler. And because my parents have a Black Angus cattle ranch, so we've always had the entire family out riding since we were tiny. So
Yeah, not a lot of women riders in this race.
no.
What would you say to other young Native women that might be looking at trying to do something like this?
Just follow your heart and try, because anything's possible.
Yeah. Who, if you look back, who are some of the Native women that you looked up to that inspired you?
Actually, it would be my mother, because she's tough. She's worked a ranch since she was young, along with my grandpa. I'm really proud of my grandparents and all they accomplished and grown up on their ranch. So it would be my mother. Yeah.
What's the most exciting part of all this for you?
Just being able to make it and say I did it. It's almost like a spiritual thing for me, and representing my people and showing people that we're still here and we're still following our traditions.
What would you say is the most rewarding part of all of it for you?
Well, each year I basically am racing against myself and my former goals I set for myself, and I just keep wanting to get higher and higher. I was a little bit lower placed than I did last year, the year before, but next year I'll just keep working on my starts. That's where I'm lacking. And last night, I felt like I'd have did a lot better if I didn't lose both my stirrups, so that was kind of scary, going down the hill and bucking the water with no stirrups at all. But I was just glad I made it. Just set for all the people, all the Native girls who want to try it, just follow your heart, follow your dreams, and don't give up.